Hello, welcome. Boxing This Week 24. Crazy number. Big week. We've had Davies Masoud last weekend. We'll talk about that. We've got Boots and Bam Rodriguez returning in Philadelphia on Saturday. We've got, what else is going on this week? Saudi Arabia doing big things again. We have, Fran Hennessy getting into a bit of beef. Possibly the biggest story of the week, weirdly. Don't know if it should be, but Conor Benn has been cleared. So we're going to talk about that as well and where he can go. And yeah, we're not going to do a weekly roundup this week. There's not actually a lot of little things. We're all just going big things.
Do you know what I will say though? I will say one thing.
Yeah.
I actually found out some interesting information today, just on the off chance about Mike Tyson.
Okay.
You know, like we was all talking about his pulling out of his joke fight with Jake Paul.
Yeah.
You know why he pulled out the fight?
No.
Had a bleeding ulcer in his stomach.
Right.
Interesting. And lost 26 pounds in hospital.
Huh.
So
and they want him to go and fight.
58 years old, and they've given him see. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is not random, Conor, but the reason I wanted to bring it up was because in my head I read that story and I was like, so 58 years old, bleeding stomach ulcer, lost 26 pounds, and you want him to go in there and fight with somebody who's 27 years younger than him? It's mental. It's mental.
Yeah,
it's madness. But again, it's a lot of people holding a lot of something at the top that are sanctioning these. There might even be no pause. I'm convinced somebody somewhere along the line to make these deals run is holding Diddy's oil. I'm convinced. Someone's holding. Do you know what? When they make these big deals right at the top of boxing, someone's holding the oil. 1,000,000%. It's madness.
Yeah, it's fucked that fight's even happening.
It's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's laughable. It's laughable as well that it's on it's the main card of a card which has got decent fights on it.
Yeah,
it's actually really a decent card, you know.
It's just the main event, the co-main event being Serrano Taylor 3.
It's one of the biggest female fights in history. Just want to put that one out there.
And you won't even hear about it because it's going to be the Jake Paul Mike Tyson news, which is that's weird. But
yeah,
that's next week. That's next week. So we'll have we will have to talk about it to some extent. We'll probably focus more on Serrano Taylor, but we'll cover it a bit more then.
I will say one thing before we go into everything. At the moment, this is streaming on our channels. However, Hooked Casuals is now live on Instagram. Please go and follow it. The YouTube is up. However, we have to wait 24 hours for YouTube to allow us to stream on that YouTube. As soon as that happens, the main stream will be going from Hooked Casuals. I would probably say till the new year, we're still going to probably join the streams on our channels so people can see them. But new year onwards, all streams will be on Hooked Casuals. So please, the link will be in the comments. So please go and obviously subscribe to that. Follow us on Instagram. For the weekly boxing specifically, that will be the center point of all the reels, news, everything. It's easier for me and Conor to do it. We both have our own channels where we interview fighters. This is a very different beast in itself that needs its own channel. So we've got, basically that's the reason we've done it. Sorry, I just thought I'd have to explain.
No, it's all good. And like I said, the links will be in the description. The short videos from this episode and from episodes up till New Year's are going out on the joint channel on Hook Casuals. So the little 10-minute clips, they're going to be on there. Basically everything will be on there except the live streams exclusively up until after New Year. But it'll make sense then anyway. So
10-minute clips. But what he means by 10-minute clips is there'll be segments of it cut out on YouTube, if I'm not wrong, Conor. And that will show you guys. So if there's little bits that specifically you want to see, we're going to make sure they're all time stamped. We're going to make sure that all the episodes are time stamped. Now it's all going to be done proper.
Yeah, we're going to be professional now.
We have to be, man. We have to be.
Exactly.
It's the only way forward. But what I will say, one thing is, we are looking at doing a Christmas episode in studio, and yes, it is happening. We're just trying to sort a date out, so we should hear about that in the next couple of weeks.
True. Right. Big old week of boxing. So let's get back to the norm. We're not going to do a weekly roundup of the little things. There's not a lot of little things. We're going straight to Masoud. Dominate Davies.
Domination, man.
Yep. Like,
do you know what? It was literally one-sided beyond belief, and no respect to Davies, because listen, that was a great fight, but that was mental. Like from round one, too quick, too slick, too fast. There was a couple of rounds where Masoud got into a bit of trouble, got pushed on the back foot, but I'd probably say for 3 rounds, that's it.
Yeah.
Rest of the fight, easy, in control. He weathered maybe 1 or 2 storms that were thrown at him,
but didn't look troubled. Like, other than that, I mean, Liam Davies was, you know what Liam Davies brings, but Masoud didn't look troubled. We said this last week. We didn't know if it would be too big of a step for Masoud, or if Masoud,
I can't lie. I actually think I remember Davies saying that he was going to win still.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put that one out there. You know, you just got to admit sometimes. But yeah,
I thought Davies would win. I thought it was too big a step for Masoud, but I'm happy that we at least said was Davies. I thought Davies would win. I thought he'd maybe win by knockout as well. I was kind of on the hype train, but Masoud is clearly that level. And there's a reason they've allowed the fight to happen. I was thinking it might be too early for him. Clearly, fucking not. He was comfortable in there.
Is there any clips you could bring up for the viewers of it or not? Or have we got time for that?
We can. No,
because you know what? I think this is something we definitely have to bring more for people, just so that they can understand what we're talking about.
This will happen way more when we got the joint.
Yeah. So basically, we're just showing you a couple clips of obviously them boxing, but Masoud Davies. This is all, and I would need to express, this is all fair rights use. We're not altering any footage. We are just simply commentating on it. You have to state that for a copyright. So yeah.
I would not have remembered to do that. So, right. Okay. Well, we've got an advert, but in the meantime, that's done. Thank God for that. I didn't have anything to say. Let's do.
So, that it was mad how one-sided that fight ended up being. Do you know what I mean? We are literally talking about Masoud.
Right.
And let me just say as well, great
TNT Sports
card.
Boxing, by the way.
Great
card. We'll talk about the undercard in just a second,
because we've got to show the knockouts as well. Yeah.
This is, Liam Davies putting the pressure on, but these are the rounds we were talking about where Masoud had to weather a little bit of a storm. But even now, catches him coming in, doesn't really get caught with anything.
That was the only storm for me that I feel like that's when Davies come on really strong. It's like when he was pushing him on the back foot and hitting him like he was. But Masoud was very quick as well, and he caught him with some great counter punches just there, like you just seen.
Yeah. So that left hand lands all night long, and we'll skip to the later rounds, but. And that's the thing. It wasn't even
towards
Davies
the end of the
being
fight.
bad.
He was
It was
just
just
picking him off.
Yeah.
No, he weren't. He was just picking him off. And we're talking about obviously Masoud and the fact that he didn't have a great last outing out. Eddie Hearn was the first to say it.
Yeah.
Didn't look great in his last fight. So it was very understandable to why people would have said that he would have lost this. Because if you go off his last performance, shocking.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough to be in this fight.
Into this, Masoud had an unreal performance. So he's completely turned it on his head. But yeah, we can get rid of that now anyway. It's not a problem. Yeah, as I said to you, it's interesting. But yeah, I'm interested to see where Masoud goes from here.
Well, this
IBO title's a bit of a weird one. The IBO title's a bit of a weird one.
It doesn't. It's not really a world title.
It's a world title, but it's like
you're not really counting it. Like it's a fringe title. I think that's what a lot of people say. Don't get me wrong, you got to be good to have it, but like really good to have it. But it's not. Yeah. The problem is we're talking about the
IBO,
division with Naoya and Inoue at the top. So a world
this
title
is the thing.
is not.
Is the thing. IBO
currently...
title is a good title to win, depending on what division you're fighting in, obviously.
That's true.
But Inoue is at the top of this division, and there's just a mad gap between him and everyone else.
Yeah. Realistically, nobody else is winning a world title.
Plus, at the moment, Shabazz Masoud wouldn't warrant, like, obviously Davies can't warrant that fight because he didn't win.
No.
But Shabazz Masoud wouldn't warrant that fight. He's not got a big enough personality. You're talking about Naoya Inoue, who could sell out a Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, you need to be mandatory or selling. And
if you're selling out the Tokyo Dome in Japan, when it comes to England, you need to be selling out the O2 minimum.
Yeah.
How much did that arena hold? 8,000, 9,000, 10,000?
I don't know if it was as many as. Let's see. Before we start, or before I start, just waffling. Venue capacity. It holds. All right. To be fair, 16.
Okay.
Did it?
What's the O2? O2 is 20,000. So
yeah, 22 and a half, something like that.
Yeah. So it's got it's good, but say that they all come out for Davies in that fight. Masoud is definitely the underdog, away fighter, fighting not in front of a favourite crowd of his. Don't really know where people get up for Telford.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Can you imagine Louis going to Telford? It's mental, isn't it? We said this before.
You could do it a cold, rainy night in Stoke. I mean, realistically, but this thing, we're being a little bit. The IBO world title makes it feel like Masoud is at that level of world titles. He's still got a long way to go. Davies had a long way to go. A long way to go before. I know, like, Dev Sani was doing the whole Inoue is scary, Davies is scary, all this kind of stuff, which is great promotion, but we all know that neither of them are that level yet.
Yeah.
Now, Masoud is clearly closer, but he needs to get in there with somebody like. I mean, I'm looking at the list, and it's there. Lewis Neri, he could fight. Inoue just beat him. Marlon Tapales again could fight. Sam Goodman's fighting Inoue. John Real Casemiro maybe. Elijah Pierce on the he does the overtime, the OTX stuff, so his promotion's pretty good. But that would have to be in America. There's options, but
overtime boxing is unreal. By the way,
it's quite good. It's got
brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's a draw, so we do another round. All that shit. It's brilliant. I quite like it. I like that stuff, though.
I love it. The fight can't end in a draw. Like, that is unreal.
It's good. Their promotion is up there.
Yeah, questionably dangerous on people's health, but
yeah, definitely.
But do you know what? The way I grew up wasn't really PC, so or PG in terms of, like, it was kind of, you fall off your bike, you crack your knee open or you crack your head open, you get a wipe, get up, go again. Do you know what I mean? It's none of this. It's mollycoddling now, man. Conor, there's no character in the world. None.
Yeah. But Shabazz has options.
Yes,
he has options. There's a lot there. It's just getting these guys over. TJ Donaghy from Ireland obviously fought Inoue recently. I don't know if he's retired, and I know he's got a back injury from. I mean, it wasn't a great performance from him, but that's not a bad step up for Shabazz Masoud to show his level. Yeah, Davis can come back. Masoud has just set himself up for some really good fights under Matchroom, and Eddie Hearn is now 2-0 in the last two, so he's clawing it back through Sky Nicholson and Masoud. So he'll be happy. Then, undercard-wise, one worth noting, Chantel Cameron, pretty dominant. Looked good again, which kind of always does, unless it's
so she's at a crossroads now, though, man, because where does she go from here?
Yeah, interim for the World Super Light WBC title. doesn't mean a lot, sadly. Well, it does, but not for somebody that was former undisputed and unified. She has to wait, see what Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano see next week, see what happens there, and then hope. Really, I think. Feel bad for her because she's honestly pound for pound women's fighter. Where would she be? She'd be what? Clarissa Shields would be probably number one at the moment.
Yeah.
Then you've got
Clarissa Shields is heavyweight though. I mean, Clarissa Shields is like fighting at heavyweight. It's mental. You know that?
Yeah. She light heavyweight and heavyweight. She won 2 titles in 2 divisions in the same fight.
Oh, that was WBC, innit? That was WBC.
Yeah, that was their ridiculous fucking thing.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Go on.
And then you got I mean she's number one. Then you've got Taylor.
Put the link in the comments for people to join as well.
Oh shit, we always forget this stuff. Man. But what? Chantel Cameron's number 4 comfortably. Could be higher. Like, she's up there, and yet she's not a world champion. She's got to wait.
Oh shit! That to happen. That was right. No, because you know what it is. You meant. Yeah, sorry. Go on. Carry on.
Cameron's number 4 easily, and she's waiting. She's nuts.
Yeah.
Then you got. I mean, there's not even much we can say about that. She dominated the fight, won every round. She looked good, but we kind of expected that. Patricia Bergholt isn't exactly an easy fight, like 17-1 going into the fight, but Chantel Cameron's a different level. So we're not talking about it's not like a stepping stone. It's not an easy fight, but it's hard to really get excited about it. Whereas Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor 3, that is exciting. Cameron versus Serrano would be exciting. Cameron versus realistically, those are the 2 that actually make any sense. And other than that, you're talking about younger fighters like Caroline Dubois. And she's not ready for Chantel Cameron. Yes.
Caroline Dubois is a hot wire though. She's a hot wire.
She's good.
She's ready. She's ready to go, but she's young. She's inexperienced.
Just doesn't need it yet.
Saying that though, they questioned with a certain Dubois, was he ready to take that next step?
True.
And he was thrown in the deep end.
He was ready.
And Daniel Dubois come out on the other end. Even the loss against Usyk done so much for him, more than people think.
That's probably the biggest thing for him is that Usyk loss. The Joe Joyce loss wouldn't have even felt real.
I would easily character building fights is the Miller and Hergovich fight. They're the character building fights.
Yeah,
they're 2 tough fights,
Yeah.
So and same with
100 pounds heavier than you, Miller, and Hergovich that just doesn't seem to get.
So Caroline Dubois, on the other hand, having said that, she will. She won't get in the ring with people like Katie Taylor, or for that matter, with Cameron's. I just don't think she's big time enough, and that's no disrespect to her. It's just where Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor, all these people are at in their careers.
Yeah.
By the time she gets there, they're probably going to be retired. If I'm being honest.
No, but it's fair enough, and hopefully Dubois has her own sort of, or when Dubois is ready and taking that step. There's another line of women that can fight her that are of this level. But realistically, Chantel Cameron is not looking at a Caroline Dubois fight with any real intention. So it's a weird one for her. And in terms of Patricia Bergholt is always going to be around that level, but she's not going to win a title. She's too old and it's not going to happen. Then we've got Echo Esserman versus Ben Vaughn, which was a great fight. I annoyingly didn't watch it all because I got home as it was finishing. So I've only seen the highlights of the first 6 or 7 rounds. However, if you were on Twitter at the same time, it was round 1, great start to the fight. Round 2, this is a great fight. Round 3, this is an amazing fight. The whole time. So I need to go back and watch something. But,
yeah, you do.
Yeah. That's something.
That's all I got to say about that. Spectacular. You need to watch it. I'll watch it again. I might even watch it again before I go to bed.
It was, from what I did see, it was it's almost like a British title fight.
It's what people pay for, man.
Yeah.
That's what people pay for. There's no other way to put it. That is what people get their money's worth. That's a money's worth fight.
Yeah.
People just want to see a good old tear up. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about Echo Westman again later on when we talk about Conor Benn, because I think there's a natural conversation there. And then the other sort of bigger fight of the night was Ezra Taylor, who won in 26 seconds. He looks pretty good.
Got the clip? Did you play that?
Let's get the clip. Let's get the clip of Ezra Cannon Taylor, who obviously now wants to fight Louis Edmondson, the guy that beat Dan Aziz. I still don't. I've watched.
Ain't there a chance of him fighting Cameron as well?
Ezra Taylor or Louis Edmondson?
Ezra.
Or both of them, I guess.
Ezra,
there is.
They're friends, but they said that they would look at fighting down the
do.
line if the opportunity presented itself, which is interesting. I actually think if Whittaker's not careful, he's going to get booted down the line with these fights, We need to see something from him soon. He's obviously come back from an injury, but there's a lot of fighters in and around the light heavy division.
He's going to struggle.
Mute it, Conor.
Mute it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
See ya.
Yeah,
safe.
I mean, I think they'll show a replay anyway, but
he didn't know what day it was.
No, he needed out.
That's concussion, man. He's not even bust. He's not even broke a sweat.
There we go.
Straight on the temple.
Overhand right, catches him clean.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't rotate his body too much into it. It's just a little movement in the hip there, but there's more power in that glove than he's allowed. It's a really, really good punch, but it's just I think he could rotate further into that and potentially put more through it, which kind of shows you. I mean, he's 10-0 now. The Louis Edmondson fight makes sense for me because Edmondson, in my mind, still doesn't deserve. It's weird to say that. Still needs to have another good win to actually prove that he is at this British title level, and not just that Dan Aziz was unlucky, because that's kind of how I think most people feel. If he goes in and beats Ezra Taylor, then or Liam Cameron, either one of those I like both of those fights. I'd probably give it to Liam Cameron just because I want Liam Cameron to. I don't think Ben Whittaker's getting back in there.
Liam Cameron's lapping it up, man. I love it.
Oh, he's great.
Lapping it up.
He's a funny guy. But I don't see Ben Whittaker getting back in there with him.
No, but
unless Saudi.
I still think Ben Whittaker will excel Liam Cameron.
You think he'll beat him?
He'll excel him. I said this before. I think Ben Whittaker had a moment earlier on in his career where he's not didn't do particularly well in that fight. It wasn't, but then maybe there's a couple of questions you got to ask yourself there. One, did he need that fight to wake him up? Has he got the ability to carry on and push on? Certainly. Can he do it? 1,000,000%. He's got the profile to do it. He's got the backing to do it. Everything's in place for Ben Whittaker to kind of push on and go a lot higher. And I'll probably say further than Cameron for those reasons. Yeah. Not even just on the boxing side, but it's a business now. You're talking about a boxer with 1.2 million followers, and all these things add up, right? And it's mad that we are talking about boxing like that now, but we are. So all these things add up. So he will project to a higher band than he'll get, a world British title shot. Yeah. Probably sooner than most, because he generates the money. Money talks. And that's all that matters in this game, Conor.
Yeah.
Money.
Dollar.
But listen, you're right. Listen, if people aren't sure, go on.
No, you're right about Ben Whittaker. His ceiling is higher than Cameron's purely because of that, the following.
But nevertheless, Cameron's filling his ceiling up now, and Cameron can still make a fortune being here. This is his ceiling, but he can still do a lot here. Do you know what I mean? He's going to get fights now that he would have never dreamed of getting before. So that's a bonus, and I hope that he earns a lot of money off of it.
I mean, let's have a look at just quickly. Liam Cameron on Instagram now, like 30,000 followers. Don't get it wrong, that's not Ben Whittaker numbers, but 30k followers that's a proper follower.
Well, he moved up from about 12.5 like a couple of months ago, so that's quite a big jump. Well with it, and I know we're sitting here talking about followers and stuff like that for people watching, but these things are really important when we are talking about the business side of boxing. So,
Massively.
So that side of things, like Ben Whittaker's ceiling's too high. There's just certain men in this game they're too high. Like Eubank Senior Junior, his ceiling is high. And even though that he's never fought at a world level and won a fight at a world level, he will always be in them big fights because his ceiling is high. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So depending on where your ceiling is, it's dependent on how far you can go and how far you can push up, in my opinion. And I believe that Ben Whittaker, Eubank, them guys, their ceilings are high.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I mean, Whittaker's just 3 million, by the way. 3 million followers, Ben Whittaker. That's the level of some of the biggest fighters in the world. That's that level. And because 11 fights in, 12 fights in, that's crazy. Let's talk about Boots and Bam.
You know what? Before we talk about this, I need to say one thing to somebody here. Who the hell said put Bam Rodriguez as the main card? People need to do their research on where these fights are. This fight's in Philadelphia. Philly.
Yeah.
What, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. I'm just happy to watch them fight. I'll be honest. I'm just excited. Jaron Ennis fight week is a good fight week. Jesse Rodriguez fight week is a good fight week. Put them together. That's a great fight week. Add Ray Ford on top. Fuck yeah, I'm in.
It's all right.
The actual fights aren't the best, is the only thing I will say.
Typical standard, like pre-Saudi card, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. It's a pre-Saudi card.
It reeks of the fight before the good fight. I mean, for context, people that don't know, Jaron Ennis is fighting Karen Chukhadzian. I'm hoping I've not butchered that. He's 24-2. So, not a bad record. And obviously, he's got himself to this level. He's a good fighter. But is he beating Jaron Ennis? No. If he does, I'm going to look stupid, but I just don't think he will. And Jesse Rodriguez is fighting Pedro Guevara, which is... I have watched Guevara fight before.
See, you're doing that one. You see me. I can't even lie to you. I've not watched him. I'm going to be honest with you.
I've seen him. I've not seen Karen Chukhadzian. I've never seen Karen.
Hey, do me a favor. I know this is off topic, Conor, because you know what I'm like. I've seen this ADHD kicking in, yeah? I'm going to be honest with you, yeah? Do you know what that moment there just reminded me of? Have you ever seen the clip of the North London Tottenham fan?
Yeah, I've seen
it. Have we got the clip? Do you know what it's called?
It's the top. Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
Please, I need people to understand what I'm thinking. They need to visually see it. This is when Conor just mentioned this about the Pedro Guava. This is what comes to mind. There's certain moments on this podcast where both me and Conor will talk about fighters, and I can promise you now, Conor might actually have done some research on it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't know who he is. I don't know who they are.
I can't find it, but I know the clip.
Where they typed in the YouTube live and they commented saying, if anyone's watching that knows what this is, put it in the comments and help us out. It's the Tottenham fan who who got asked about a transfer that didn't exist on the stream.
Oh my god!
Anyone in the chat?
Yeah, I can't find it, but it's so good.
Anyway, yeah. Basically, sorry. That's the Pedro Guava moment there, Conor. I ain't got a clue who that is.
I saw his last fight against Maloney. That's all I've ever seen of him is one fight, so it's not like I've got a lot to go off. But it's enough to say Rodriguez will beat him. I think, has he ever been knocked out? I don't. He's never been knocked out, so there we go. There's the challenge. Rodriguez.
You even have to put his full name incorrectly, because if you spell it wrong, guava comes up and the drink comes up straight away. That's how much I don't know about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. You even need to make sure the whole name's correct.
It's a bit of a like. It's good to see the two fighters just active. I mean, Rodriguez is active, and Rodriguez should have been fighting Estrada in their rematch, because there was a rematch clause. But if I'm honest, the fights aren't the best. The probably better fight of the night is Ray Ford versus Orlando Gonzalez. I've not actually watched Orlando Gonzalez, so I'm not going to pretend.
Do you know what's mad, yeah? Like, let's look at it like this. Terrence moved up. Boots, there's talks of Boots potentially moving up. I don't think Boots Ennis beats Madrimov.
That's a big statement.
I don't think Boots Ennis beats Madrimov. I'm just putting that one out there now. And the reason that is relevant is because obviously if Boots Ennis moves up, that's one of the guys that he'll have to face probably.
Well, that's probably the second best in the division.
But you know yourself, when you go straight into another division, being a world champion, you're essentially pushed up the ladder anyway.
Yeah.
You got Lawrence Okoli at heavyweight. He's never had a heavyweight fight in his life.
Yeah, he's number 5 in the world.
So
I'm trying to think. I don't know. That's a great fight though. Boots Madrimov is a properly good fight.
I just think Terence Crawford could be more ferocious with it. I just don't know if Ennis has got more dog in him than Madrimov. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Now I actually sit here and think about it. I think that Madrimov would beat Ennis, in my opinion. Like, I watched that Terence Crawford fight and I just thought, it's mad, but like, there wasn't. Terence done well to win, box well.
Yeah.
But he didn't dominate Madrimov, in my opinion.
No, not even close.
And there's not many fighters that do that to Terence Crawford.
No.
Do you see what I'm saying? Terence Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford couldn't actually land clean on Madrimov. Did him, but
don't tell Eddie that. No, we got to tell him, man. Let's be honest, man.
I mean, they're both his fighters. He won't care. But I don't know. That's a tough fight. That's a great fight, though. I'd love to see that. But it will be interesting. I mean, in terms of,
I'm a big fan of Ennis, by the way. But I'm just being honest. Like, I'm looking at how tough
fight someone hard.
But this is my point. It's like, it's so difficult. What do you base Ennis? How well Ennis is doing off? Like, who's he fought? I'm gonna go back to this. If I give Shakur Stevenson the same treatment, I have to give Ennis his treatment. And we're talking about Shakur as one of the best boxers probably we ever watch. Like, just in terms of his ability, because you know how good Shakur is. But unfortunately, who's he boxed? So this, my point being, again, it's difficult to warrant. This is why these guys can never be mentioned in the same breath as a Floyd Mayweather's. People keep going back to it, but look at Floyd Mayweather's record, then look at these guys' records. People talk about the record. Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez. What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
You can reel them off with Floyd. And then add Conor McGregor in for like
Oscar De La Hoya.
Why not?
Oscar De La Hoya for the
Manny
early ones.
Manny
Pacquiao.
Mayweather's resume is just mental.
But this is my point. When we talk about like Ennis, for example, it's annoying because it's like, I know how good Ennis is. It's just, where do I put him in terms of how great of a fighter he is compared to other boxers? Probably not high at the moment. And his ability, high. But in terms of his records, not really. It's a bit meaty. I'm not going to lie.
No, you're right. I mean, his best win is David Avanesian. In terms of an experienced fighter, just looking through it now, I mean...
But then, to be fair, there are a lot of fights that couldn't happen which are probably not Ennis's fault. And it's probably manager's fault. I'm not saying that he wouldn't take the fights. Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't take the fights, but I'm saying these fights haven't happened. So it's very difficult for me to comment on how good Ennis is. I'm just saying at the moment, going off what I've seen, Madrimov will put Ennis in a spliff. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree, but I can kind of understand it. Madrimov's had, I mean, that Crawford fight. We know where Madrimov is. Madrimov is basically, you take Crawford out of the equation, Madrimov probably beats everybody in this division, or at least if he's not beating them, it's close, like so close. Ennis is a weird one because his resume, 32-0, is brilliant. 29 knockouts. He's doing his job, but it's who he's doing it against. And also, if we just look at welterweights, it's a weak division. That's not a strong division at the moment. I mean, BoxRec rankings are...
That's empty cardboard, by the way. But do you know what it is? I don't even smoke, but this is what Madrimov would do to Ennis. You get me? One of these, just that's what he's doing. Sorry, carry on.
If we just look at the... If we look at the BoxRec ranking, now BoxRec ain't reliable at all because it's BoxRec and it can be a bit shit. Ennis is number 1, has to be. Conor Benn is number 2.
On what?
Welterweight rankings.
Yeah.
Jin Sasaki, never watched him. Mario Barrios, good fighter. Brian Norman Jr., potentially watched him, not sure.
How was Barrios?
Barros is, he is 29. He's fighting Abel Ramos for WBC World Welterweight title. I didn't even know that was happening.
But you got Ennis v Benn.
Ennis.
Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you.
You can say Benn.
Hang on. There's no comparison in terms of boxing ability. That Ennis is superior. However,
where's this guy?
Conor Benn is chaotic, and I've never seen Ennis deal with chaotic like that. So I need to see how Ennis deals with a fighter who just comes forward all the time, aggressive like Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing, he's a far superior boxer, but I need to see Ennis's character. And in that moment where Conor Benn's standing in front of you, like you just seen a man down your local boozer, come outside and just square up to you, that's Conor Benn.
That is the best fight in the division.
That's Conor Benn. It's a very good question, though. Who do you have, Conor?
Ennis. You have to go Ennis, just because Conor Benn's resume is...
Does Conor Benn beat David Avenuson?
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's like when you talk about that welterweight division, that's probably the fight to make outside of... And that's perfect for him because he ain't got to drop too much weight for that one. In terms of, he's obviously more comfortable fighting, a lot bigger. He gets a lot more power behind his shots.
Yeah.
But I think him going to fight Devin Haney at 140, he lose a lot of power with that, man.
We don't need to see that. That doesn't make sense to me. Devin Haney shouldn't be at 140. If Haney is sensible and actually goes to welterweight, then sure, we'll watch that. But but Ben Ennis is tough. Like, Ennis is far more experienced, far more active at the moment, which is understandable, but it's true. I don't. Conor Benn's a good boxer. He's underrated, really, for his actual ability, just purely on what's happened. Is Eubank Benn a done deal? No. Hold on. Let's get that.
I don't even think that fight's going to happen, you know. I'll be so honest with you. As far as I'm aware, there's no actual contract been signed yet.
No.
Conor Benn has just been cleared to fight in the UK. So I would imagine now, if it's going to happen, they'll start negotiations now. So I think this one we'll have to wait and see over the next 3-4 weeks if something's going to kick off. Yeah. I would probably say if you don't hear anything by January, this is probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. Because if that's the case, if it gets to that long, that means Turkey don't want it, and if Turkey doesn't want it, then it's not happening. I reckon it will happen.
Turkey's going to own the IBF WBC by January. Watch, that's what he's going to do.
He's going to take over. Well, he has taken over, but Eubank Benn's a weird fight. I don't even want to. I do want to see it because you kind of have to see it.
I think Benn beats Eubank. Eubank's got too much wear and tear, man.
Yeah, at 154. Yeah,
Eubank is far from fresh. You know, when you just got certain sponges under the sink that need to go in the bin. No, but it's true though. Like,
such a weird way of describing him, but it does make sense.
No, but it's true though. Like, I'm saying as in, like, you're asking me as the paying fan who spends my money to watch this.
Sure.
This wonderful sport we call boxing. When I talk about going to live events, Conor, I go myself, yeah.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I do pay for the ones on TV, so don't.
I know.
It's just the zone that's funny like that.
However, let me ask you this question: as a paying fan, can anyone tell me that they watch Eubank and don't think that he's not declining because of his age? Like naturally happens to anyone.
Yeah, Eubank's
Conor Benn's what, 26, 27? Too much
28. 28.
Yeah, that's fine.
Those last 2 years have taken.
But you've got to remember, he's not fought for those last. He's so fresh. It's mad. Like in terms of just for the fights.
Yeah. He did actually fight this year. I keep forgetting that he fought Pete Dobson at the start of the year. But you are right. I mean, Conor Benn's a weird one. Like I like the guy. I still like him, even with all the drama. I still like him. I just think they handled it so bad. Like everyone with his. Let's talk about Conor Benn now. We'll get back to Boots and Bam. We think they're going to win their fights. Ray Ford, I hope wins his fight. I think he will. It's actually a really good card. Austin Williams is fighting. Khalil Cole is fighting. There should be some good highlights from that. I think nearly
Austin Ammo Williams v Eubank Jr. That's what I need to see.
I'd enjoy that fight.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Yeah, but right, Conor Benn has officially been cleared. Let's just get that storyline aspect. I mean, we kind of said it already, but Conor Benn is free to fight. He's cleared. It's a bit of a weird one. He's cleared on the basis they don't have enough evidence to say he's guilty, which doesn't look great, but equally. It's been going on so long.
Conor, innocent until proven guilty. The game's a game.
Yeah. I think he is innocent. I stand by that. Maybe I'm stupid, but
the thing is, regardless of what people think, what I do know is we hold law to the highest account in this country. What we can't start doing now is defamation of character. This is to boxing fans, people in general. He's not guilty of nothing in the eyes of the law. The law is the highest power in this land that we have to carry out laws. See, listen, he's not guilty in the eyes of the law. In the eyes of the sanctioning bodies, he's not guilty.
Yeah.
Therefore, if he's seeing anyone going around saying stuff, it's on site. That's why I got to use allegedly.
I just actually don't think he did it. I mean, I'm genuine. I'm not. I don't have a problem with being. I don't want to be sued. Ideally, I'm pretty young, so don't do that. I mean, Paolo don't get sued either. No, don't sue anyone.
Sue me. I got money to give you, man. Sue me.
Yeah, but then that's just quite long, and you got to go to court and explain that, and that's a whole different thing.
Fine, I'll pay a penny off. Was it a penny a month, penny a week, penny a month?
Whatever. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be even. Yeah. Anyway, Conor Benn cleared. The basis of it is weird, but then the whole thing's been weird. Where a few tests, VADA had him as a clean athlete in the exact same time period.
Carry on, Conor. Was it?
All right.
Yeah.
That UCAD had him as guilty. Let's bring this up. So Benn is cleared to fight in the UK. He is, yeah. Conor Benn can fight anywhere now. He is completely cleared to fight. They've based it on the fact they didn't have enough evidence to punish him. So they've said that he is innocent. Let me get the actual statement because I don't want to misquote anything.
Get the statement up, Conor, and show everyone. Show
Conor
them.
Benn cleared. Right. So, well, that's good, isn't it? Twitter's not even showing up, so it's useful. Accept. Right. UK. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to read it because I can't find the actual statement, and it's also just a lot of words. So the NAPD, the United Kingdom's independent tribunal responsible for adjudicating anti-doping disputes in sport, and the British Boxing Board of Control subsequently banned Benn, who has since actually fought twice outside the UK. But his suspension has now been lifted after UKAD, UK Anti-Doping, the organisation for respect.
Can we share this with the screen?
Yeah, you probably can. Window. There we go. Right. It's a bit small. I'll zoom in. So we're kind of, this bit's the important. UKAD can confirm that it received the decision of the independent NADP this afternoon. A UKAD spokesperson said the panel concluded that it was not comfortably satisfied that UKAD proved that Mr. Benn sounds weird, that Conor Benn had committed an anti-doping rule violation for the use of clomiphene. Provisional suspension previously in place has been lifted, and the charge against him has been consequently dismissed. So he is completely cleared on the grounds that they weren't satisfied with the evidence, basically.
In English, no evidence.
Yeah. Which, is that enough to sort of rule him out? For some people, it won't be. I've said from the day that it all came out, that I thought he was innocent anyway. Yeah. So for me, I'm happy with it, but I can understand why people would still want more transparency, because it's still not enough. We still don't have a reason that he's actually ingested anything. It's weird. It is weird. But he's cleared to fight, and because he's cleared to fight, who should he fight?
Jared Ennis.
Yeah, straight in there.
I don't really want to see that Eubank fight. I'll be so real with you.
Not interested by it, or
no,
just.
Not really. It's a catch weight. It's a catch weight. Like, it's not going to be. It doesn't do anything for their records. Eubank and Benn fighting. They just hate each other.
Yeah. Do you think that? No, Eubank on Benn's
Does
record
Eubank
would be
think
big.
that he's going to go and fight Conor Benn at a catchweight than get a fight with Canelo?
Probably.
It's mental, a little bit. It's mental. It's just mad delusional, like, in my opinion.
I could see Conor Benn has more to gain out of that fight. If he loses to Eubank, he's lost to a veteran. He can come back.
What does Eubank offer?
Do you not think if Benn beats Eubank, Benn comfortably beats Eubank Jr., that people go, okay, he's actually at that level. He's that good.
No, because I don't even think Eubank's at that level.
No, not well. Do I?
What's happened every time he's fought at world level? And I'm talking about now.
He's been beaten. He's been beaten. Billy Joe Saunders beat him. George Groves beat him. Yeah. Liam Smith, without rolled ankles, beat him. But
are we saying Liam Smith now is world level?
Nah, but the Liam Smith that beat Eubank was
not world level.
No, but he also didn't have any injuries at that time. That Liam Smith was technically ranked number one in the world.
What can Eubank do differently, in my opinion? Like, no, I'm asking people this: what can Eubank do differently to fight somebody like Canelo, and not make the mistakes that he has done against Billy Joe Saunders, Liam Smith, George Groves, whoever it may be, or just how he's looked in his fights in general? What can Eubank do differently to go and fight one of the most elite fighters? No.
There's not a chance that he is not good enough. Canelo is just a whole different level. But Eubank, middleweight isn't that strong. Like Hamza Shiraz is
Callum Simpson.
What you think Callum Simpson would beat Eubank or?
No, I think that's a fight that you could potentially see down the line.
Yeah, don't mind that fight. Only taking money fight against.
I like that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Bud Crawford only taking money fight against Canelo. So many fights to make in the stack 154. Not quite sure. I don't agree with that. I don't think he only wants Canelo. I think that's just his ultimate goal. If he can get there, he will do that. But he's gonna fight. There's still talks of him fighting Sebastian Fundora to unify the WBC and WBA. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's still talks.
It's mental. Fundora's a champion. You know that.
Yeah,
it's mental. Because you know, say there's some guys here who are not meant to win a title, and when they win it, they will hold on to it for dear life. That's Fundora. That's Fundora.
Yeah, he's odd. He's odd. I mean, Tim Tszyu fight was lucky, and we've seen Tim Tszyu get battered recently. So,
do you honestly think Fundora's beating Errol Spence? As boxing fans, are you flipping off your rocker?
No. If Errol Spence is comfortable with the weight, Errol Spence does him in. But weight is the problem with Errol Spence. That's always been the problem. It's nothing about his teeth and thinking they're going to fall off in car accidents. No, it's the weight. He cannot make 147. And it's whether or not he's actually still too big to make 154, which I assume he wouldn't be. But 147, he was dangerously malnourished.
So what we're saying, what's a dangerous Errol Spence now?
I think 154. I think that makes sense. Because that's 7 pounds more on the rehydration. But realistically, we could be talking.
You think a fight higher up in weight is different with Terence Crawford?
Crawford still wins, but I think it's more competitive.
You think?
I think if Spence can actually hit Crawford harder, because you've seen the interview of Crawford talking about it.
He was weight drained. Water drained.
Yeah. I'm not taking away from the win, by the way, because Crawford was brilliant. And it's not like Errol Spence couldn't move in the ring. Spence was moving, he was hitting, but I think that knockout power that Spence has was not there. Crawford said it in the interview after the fight. He said that about round 2, Errol Spence landed clean on him, and he thought, "Oh, that was nothing." That shouldn't be the case, and that's not the case with a guy that's got 22 knockouts on his record and good knockouts as well, some of them. So I think that fight's different. I still think Crawford wins. I think Crawford's special. Errol Spence is brilliant, but Crawford's all-time special. I'd like to see Conor Benn fight Echo Esselman. That was what I was going to link back to earlier. That's a tough fight, but I think it's a really good fight, and it actually tells us where Conor Benn is, because we still don't know.
So if he beats Esselman, where's Conor Benn sit?
Then he's world level. I don't think he's world
level. You don't think he's world level? Do you think he's had better opponents wins than Esselman?
Yeah, he's had better wins, but not better opponents.
What's fighting Esselman would make him world level?
Because I think Esselman could be world level.
Right now. I'm not saying he can't be, but I'm saying right now.
Yeah. I think Esselman could fight for a world title. He's a European title holder. He's 20-1.
I'm sure he's definitely got the ability to fight wherever he wants. Is it the right time for him to fight for a world title? That's what I'm trying to ask.
No. Definitely not.
So we're in agreement that he's not. I'm not saying that he can't get to world level with his ability, but strategically,
he's
not world level at the moment.
Echo Esselman needs to step up. He needs a harder fight.
Yeah, but strategically, he's not world level at the moment.
Okay, no. All right, fine, yeah. But then that's why Conor Benn fight makes sense, doesn't it? Conor Benn's not.
I don't think Conor Benn don't get nothing out of it though. What does he get out of it?
A first fight back, he fights Esselman, beats Esselman. Then we all all right, cool. Big British fight. Esselman sells. Conor Benn sells. I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. If not, then the David Avanesian fight makes a lot of sense. Because they've been chatting for years now, those two. Avanesian and Conor Benn. And it would be good to see how Conor Benn does, because we've seen Crawford, Avanesian. We saw how well Crawford did. We've seen Ennis and how well Ennis did. Let's see what Conor Benn can do.
I just think that's all wrong to figure out if he's world level.
Do you think he's world level?
Do I think Conor Benn's world level? I think we have to start putting him there 1,000,000%. He's not a prospect anymore.
No, he's not a prospect.
Would you say he's past European level?
Yeah, but who's like? I'm a Conor Benn, a little bit of a Conor Benn fan. Especially, I can actually say that now, which is quite nice. But who has he beat that puts him world level?
No, I'm saying he's got world level fights under his belt. He fought Vargas on one of his fights.
Oh, come on! That's an old Vargas. That's a Vargas that's been knocked out. That's been done in by Spence.
Vargas. That's a Vargas that absolutely took a beating off Conor Benn.
Yeah, but of course he did. But like, it's just one round. It was like 40 seconds, and Conor Benn just pounded. That sounded weird. Conor Benn just beating him up.
Pause.
Yeah, that was a big pause. I actually had to stop myself. Normally, I don't even notice it, but that was bad. But Vargas is top, but then you got Granados.
I would like to see Conor Benn v Florian Marku, or remember you got flipping Congo in there as well, man.
Chris Congo. That's a good fight.
That's what I'm saying to you. That fight appeals more to me, but I don't know if they would fight because I think they're boys. I could be wrong, but I'm sure.
I don't. You might. Yeah. There's something with those two. I don't know, but I don't want to see Conor Benn in the stupid fights that he's asking for. Gervonta Davies.
Yeah, but no. Chris Congo's not a stupid fight though.
No, that makes sense. But I'm saying I think you're right. I don't think they would fight. I think they are mates.
Do you know what's mad? Yeah, even like some of the fights that he was in early doors in his career were tough as well, Conor Benn.
Yeah,
I remember watching him and a guy. Was it Kane Baker?
Maybe, yeah, Kane Baker. He fought him again.
That was a scrap.
Which is Cedric Pinold is when he had to fight again because he kind of probably should have lost that first fight. And then he got knocked down twice in the first. He knocked him down. That was a tough fight, and then he went back and beat him pretty much in every round. Conor Benn is, like, by the way, his whole career is just improvement. So I think he could get to world level. I'm saying if he fights Jaron Ennis in his next fight, his first fight back, he is getting his shit rocked. If he fights somebody else, Echo Esselman, Chris Congo, even Eubank, if we'll go in there, sure. David Avanesian, who else is there that you could actually fight?
It's mad to say that to fight Chris Eubank, you become world level when Chris Eubank's never won at world level. But
I'm saying as like a warm-up fight. I don't normally like a warm-up fight, but
it would be a warm-up fight. But
Eubank's a step up, though.
Step up in terms of money. That is it. That is literally it.
Oh, come on. Eubank's better than Vargas.
I'm talking about that. Bearing in mind, you got to remember this catch rate fight does nothing for Conor Benn's career or Eubank's career. It doesn't change anything.
No, it does. It does. It doesn't for Eubank. Not for Eubank. Eubank beats Conor Benn. Well, he's just beaten the guy that's been out for years. Blah blah blah. Benn beats Eubank. It's all right. Benn is with the same level of like Billy Joe Saunders' ability, George Groves' ability. Like that's the sort of standard that Benn's now at. You can't beat Eubank is not a walkover. You got to be good to beat Eubank.
Let us know what you lot think in the comments, innit? That's all I'm going to say to you.
This is the most we've like properly debated on something. Conor Benn is he's close. He's not there yet. I mean, there's a lot of fights for him. Jaron Ennis next would not make sense. You would get fucked up. I really like Conor Benn, but that would not be the fight. Maybe 2 fights time, and then it's competitive, and then I can maybe see Conor Benn potentially winning. Although it's tough, but I could maybe see it. But not immediate fight back. No chance. And if he did, it would be crazy. So fair enough.
Speaking of world level and world class fights,
yeah, Turkey buys Ring magazine.
Big nights in Saudi.
Yeah.
Turkey has bought Ring magazine as of today. I don't know if you've got an article there that you can show everyone just in case they haven't seen it. Turkey Al Sheikh has bought Ring magazine. So essentially, you've got the IBF, WBC, WBA, WBO, and Ring magazine. Turkey Al Sheikh now owns Ring magazine. It's madness. What does this do for boxing, Conor?
We are moving towards one belt divisions. That's what it looks like.
That is why he's buying them out.
Yep. We are. I mean, the articles that I'm finding are rubbish. As in, they're just. Can I find something of interest? Bad left. Okay, this will do. Right. Let's have a look at this because this is massive, by the way. This is probably the biggest news of the week. We haven't really given it as much time as anything else, but that's because it doesn't need as much time. Oh my God. Right, here we go. Purchases Ring magazine, which, by the way, the money for that is just crazy. 17 years after purchasing the Ring, Oscar De La Hoya has seemingly sold the Bible of boxing to Turkey Al Sheikh, confirming a September report from Julius Julianus. What a name that is. I mean, to be fair, there's not actually a lot to say. This is just crazy. This is...
Just watch this space, man. Bring in the Super League. I've had enough of these boards talking, making their own rankings. Bring in one belt, one division, one championship, one love. Bob Marley once said. Listen, bring it on, man. I'm ready for it. You're right. I don't think there is much more to say. This is coming towards the end of everything we're talking about now, but Turkey Al Sheikh is taking over boxing, whether you like it or not. He is here to stay. So it's big news that I wanted to share with everyone because Turkey buys Ring magazine. I know we've got two more bits that we can fly through. I'll leave the bottom one, unfortunately, negatively last. But more so, this is quite interesting. So just to give you some clarity, I was watching Fran's story, Shannon's story, and they were going back and forth, exchanging verbals about their performances on the night where Shannon Courtney lost. Fran Hennessy got the victory.
Yeah.
Fran Hennessy's words to Shannon were, "You stunk out the copper box," is what she told Shannon. And Shannon said, "That fighter you fought, I made light work of them," or something like that. Anyway, they go back and forth. I think it's brilliant, though, because this is what sells fights. So now, all from that 2, 3, 4 story share, you're talking about now 2 people with a potential fight at the end of the year, but they can both walk out with loads of money and they can walk out with a great shot, whoever the winner may be. I've got to be Team Fran for this one, man. But it's anyone can win it. It's a great fight. Shannon Courtney's a phenomenal fighter, and Fran, as always, would have to come on her A game. Anything less, she could lose. So anything less of like a focused performance, it's very easy to be in big trouble during that fight. But I think with how focused that Fran is, I can't see anything else but a win. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge win as well. Former world champion,
right up the rankings.
Shannon Courtney. Yeah, that's the kind of win where people go, "Oh, okay, you're a serious boxer." Not that she isn't, but casual fans take that a little bit longer. You beat Shannon Courtney, not the greatest world champion ever, but a world champion. That's something on the 6 fights in, and that's pretty insane. And it's the perfect time as well. Like from a matchmaking point, this is the perfect time to fight Shannon Courtney, because she is. I think it's fair to say on the sort of end of her career. So it's kind of perfect matchmaking. Makes sense as well. Both of them get a big payday. Courtney's done well in her career. That could be a nice little way out. Equally, Francesca Hennessy has to take that serious because Shannon Courtney can punch, can box, and on her day, I mean, beat Ebony Bridges, who
Ebony's out for a while, man. She ain't coming back for a while.
No.
She's walking around with a whole baby right now. She ain't coming back for a while.
No, she's not. I mean, Ebony Bridges, I think, last probably year or two has been a little distracted. I don't feel like she was all in on boxing for the last year or two. I could be wrong there, but she had her moments, though, and she's done brilliant things. So why not? But the important thing, that's a massive fight, and it sells and it promotes them really well as well. No matter who wins or loses, the promotion for that goes. It works. People know Shannon Courtney. People will know Francesca Hennessy. Well, boxing world, people know both, but eventually world. So that's good. The only other thing, boxing-wise, I don't have anything more to say on this. I don't know if you do, but
no.
Right. Only other thing, boxing-wise, I've not really mentioned is this week is Top Rank Friday. Keyshawn Davis fights. From what I can tell, it won't be very competitive, but Keyshawn Davis fight week, and it's actually all three Davis, well, not all three of the Davis brothers. So Kelvin Davis, Keyshawn Davis, and I think it's another K, but I could be wrong.
Top Rank coming up with another shit card then.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not their best, but yeah, it's a card. Well done. Oh, Abdullah Mason's fighting as well, so
that's good.
Oh yeah, Keon Davis.
Do you think Top Rank needs a makeover now? Someone a bit younger,
potentially, because Keyshawn Davis 11-0 headlining fighting Gustavo Daniel Lemos. I've not watched any of him. 29-1. So it's fairly competitive, but I have read a bit about Gustavo Daniel Lemos, and whether or not what I'm reading is true, it doesn't suggest he's that good. He was the one that fought Richardson Hitchens, but he lost. So it's kind of a good fight, but yeah, Abdullah Mason's the one to watch, really. Keyshawn Davis will look good, but Abdullah Mason is the one to watch. Could watch the other David brothers.
Do you know your mum ever tell you, man, if you ain't got nothing good, don't say it. That card stinks. That's all I'm going to say about that.
It does, card, but man. Abdullah Mason is the future. So
Abdullah Mason's the future, but he just needs to move from these stupid cards. I really am not a fan of these Friday cards. Sorry.
No, I like it. Yeah. Oh, we missed out one of the biggest things of the week. Sorry, I forgot to put it in. Queensbury signed to DAZN. This is only short. Yes. So they're talking about, one, the fact that everything is now going to be on DAZN.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be on DAZN. That's Matchroom, that's Queensbury. Golden Boy are going to move to DAZN and already kind of have. Riyadh season. Some say Liam's got a nod against. We'll talk about that really quickly. Yeah, a lot of people do. He's a good fighter, but I'm just not that fussed by it. He could upset Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis might not be.
1 second, Conor. Hang on.
Not a problem. There you go. But Hitchens is. I felt like it was an off night for Hitchens, but I like watching Keyshawn Davis. I might watch the main event. I'm not staying up for it. I might watch it the next day. Back to the Queensbury thing. Queensbury are now going to be exclusively on DAZN. Will they be? So they might be moving away from TNT Sports completely. I assume they are.
Exclusively on DAZN.
Yeah. So TNT Sport Boxing is done for now, at least. I guess they could get Wasserman, or they could get somebody else, but right now it's done. And they're talking Matchroom and Queensbury will do co-promotional shows outside of Saudi. That's massive. That means we're going to get not just the sort of 4 or 5 times a year on a Saudi card where we see some of the fights we want to see. We should see we should see it more regularly. If we want to see Conor Benn versus Echo Esserman, that will now be easily done. Same broadcaster, promoters get on. If that's the fight they want to make, that will get done. So
why is it though go on.
Hopefully this means, boxing's just going to a good place right now.
Why is it when we feel like one thing in boxing is going really well, something else comes up? And that's something else right now, the boards. Before it was promoters that were blocking stuff. They've now allowed everything. The leech or the issue at hand, or the cockroaches or the leeches, that if you want to call them, seem to be the boxing boards. Yeah. So I would say at.
Yeah.
Get out, man.
That's shit.
Get out.
But it's because we're getting the unification fights. It's because the boards don't make as much money or look as good if all the belts are on one guy, because then their mandatories get pushed back and then their rankings aren't as meaningful. If one guy's got the IBF title, and I'm picking the IBF out because they really pissed me off recently. If one guy's got the IBF title, that one guy will have to do his mandatories. So that IBF title is always the main thing. If they've got 4 belts, 5 belts, the IBF gets pushed to the side. Basically, we're getting the fights we need, and the boards should all go fuck themselves. That's kind of. I'm a bit aggressive tonight. I just don't like the boards, and I don't like the way. I'm tired.
That's a good note to end it on, though. Fuck the boards.
Yeah, fuck the boards. Yeah, man. That is the ending. Fuck the boards, and we'll just end it there. Fuck off.
Before you end it,
the channel and that important stuff. Yeah, that is kind of
the important stuff. Please go and subscribe to Hooked Casuals, which is our joint platform, which is now live on Instagram. The YouTube is up as well. I will post a link to it on Instagram shortly. Please check it out. Follow that every week. That's where our live content will be coming from for the first month up until January. We will be collaborating with our individual channels. Our individual channels are not going anywhere. We're still doing our own stuff, but this is all for our collective content, which is the weekly episodes we bring to you guys every Thursday at 8:30, and anything else that we decide to do interviews for. Apart from that, like, share, and subscribe. Do it before somebody else does. Somebody doesn't do it, or I've messed that one up. Like, share, and subscribe. Do it before it's too late and you're stuck in the mud.
There we go. Boom.